Hi, I'm Jeannie Kelly, your credit coach, and I have Jeneen Hupfer. And how are you, Janine?
I am excellent. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to have you because I'm getting to know you during this podcast, which I love that. I love that. I love getting to know what makes you tick in the mortgage industry because I've been working with you for a long time, but I
Yeah.
don't know what got you into the industry.
Absolutely. My story starts in, circa 1998. I had left school in New York. I started taking courses at home. I was actually on my own. I had my own cleaning business. One of my clients, who was like a second mother to me, she was amazing. Near and dear, she's since passed, but she introduced me to her nephew who owned a mortgage company at the time. Now, back in 98, that wasn't a buzzword and, you didn't hear much about mortgages, but he thought that I would, after speaking with him, would do well in the industry. Ironically, I come from a family of realtors. So I have my
Oh,
mother and stepfather at the time, my sister, my aunt, my grandparents. So it's always been around me. And I always said I would never get involved in the industry because of that.
never say never.
Never say never, but I did. I took the opportunity, mentored with this gentleman for about a year while I worked, while I went to school, and eventually hopped in full time sometime in 99.
Okay, yeah, so you've
Yeah.
been in the industry a long time, and I know one of your specialties, and I know you can do so many mortgages, but you love the first-time home buyers.
I do. I mean, for a period of my career, I was in wholesale lending and I worked with challenged buyers. And so I find that a lot of the referral sources and people remember me from that era and tend to send me tougher to do loans, which generally end up being for some buyers because they haven't gone through the process before.
Mm,
And so it's just become really near and dear to my heart. I love helping single mothers who, are just barely making ends meet, helping them get into homes.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I love that too because I can remember going back. What brought me into this industry was having bad credit. I talk about it all the time, and I was a single mom. And so not only did I have bad credit, I couldn't get an apartment. I mean, it was horrible. So you can't even think of wanting to purchase a home. I mean, I dreamed about it, but when you can't even rent an apartment, it's like you got to take the steps.
the
And
reality of hearing and seeing it on paper, the credit, the tight ratio, the lack of money in the bank, and we need a home. We have nowhere to go. I mean, it's heart-wrenching.
yeah. Now, what's the plan when it comes to someone thinking about wanting to purchase? And obviously they should pick up the phone right away to call you and connect. And it'd be great months in advance. But what is the process? What should someone be looking for when they're saying, I want to purchase a home? What's the first step?
I think people are very apprehensive due to, I think, misleading advertising to have their credit pulled. And there's no way to start or know or get the right counsel without pulling credit. Now, there are for us at cross country, fortunately, we can do a tri merge soft pull, which is amazing, no effect on credit. And it's important to know what's there, what needs to be worked on because it's a marathon. It's not buying a house is not an overnight process. Could take 6, 8, 9 months. I have plenty of buyers on year 2 right now still shopping or still working on things. So that is the most important is to have one, find a mortgage professional that's trusted, someone you can trust, you feel comfortable with, that can stick with you through the process and help you with your credit.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when it comes to the mortgages, just like okay, they have to review their credit report. It's important to do, and it's also important to find that mortgage lender that you can say, these are my goals. Here's my whole financial picture because you've got to share all of that information. Like, and what can I afford realistically? So this way, then there is a plan to start thinking about putting that together. And it doesn't have to be that difficult. I just think sometimes people are afraid when
They
they
are,
feel
they're
like there's
afraid.
no option. Yeah, absolutely. And let me ask you, because I ask everyone, how did you learn about credit?
So I, being on my own at a young age, went to buy my first car. I think I was 19 at the time. And it was during a downturn. So my parents couldn't co sign for me. I had no credit and I couldn't get a car loan. I ended up eventually, my grandmother lent me $2,000 and I was able to get a loan on my own through, I'll never forget, Saturn of Brantford. They found a lender that would lend to me and I got my
Oh,
first car loan. And from there, it became very important. And I was starting in the mortgage industry at the time too. So I was then constantly in front of credit reports. But for me, I have not skipped a beat since that day. It very much weighed on me, the importance of credit.
yeah, right. And being a mortgage lender, what is a common question that your clients might come to you and ask you all the time? And that it always seems to be the same question. What are you hearing?
Funny because every day I have the conversation and I have this conversation with everybody. It's the question that always comes up. Why are my credit scores different, the ones you pulled, Janine, from what I see on Credit Karma or Experian app or my credit card statement? And I have to then explain about the difference between mortgage scores and consumer credit scores and how there's always a difference. Jeannie, I would love to hear your explanation on this. I could get
Well,
more. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you said. There are different scores out there. And I always say people come to me and I'll say, well, I could sell a score, right? But if no one's buying it, who cares what score I'm giving you? So you just have to learn that some of these other scores are educational, or like if you see a score dip on one, it's probably across the board, but they do have different algorithms. So it is important to know for mortgages we're using FICO 2, 4, and 5 90% of the time. And and that's the other confusing thing, Janine, because there are more than one FICO. Like it used to be, people would just think, oh, okay, FICO,
I
I
go.
understand the word. But then on their credit card statements, just like you said,
It
they'll
says
see
FICO.
it says FICO, but it's FICO 8 because it's a credit card. And so they're giving you the credit card score. So it's very confusing, and so many sites out there and they're always different. And a lot of times they'll see that the mortgage score is lower. So it's not a happy surprise when sometimes the lender pulls because they'll say,
Right.
oh, but I thought I was a 700 and there may be a 689 or whatever it may be. It seems to be different. And it's just, you have to think of those as educational scores and know that when it comes for one of the largest purchases I think of our life, our mortgage is a very large purchase. It's your FICO 2, 4, and 5 at the moment. So it's something
Would
to
you
think
say
about.
that a mortgage scoring model is more stricter on sort of how you've repaid your bills?
Sometimes it is because so if you even go to myfico.com, you can purchase your credit report with all the scores and you'll see like 28 versions of your score and you'll see them all different. You'll see some higher, some lower. You're like it's all over the place. And it's because like I think that yes, a mortgage is it might be a little stricter than needing a credit card, even though with the credit card, I always feel like there's no collateral, right? At least with the mortgage, there is a home, but it
Right.
doesn't matter what I think. It's just that I know that the FICO 2, 4, and 5 are always not as high as what I see with the FICO 8s, let's just say, or some of the other scoring models, depending. But FICO, the one main thing, and I'll just quickly say, putting it together, when you know that 35% is payment history, 30% are your balances, those are 2 things that you really can play with.
Oh, yes.
Yes, length, how long you've been using credit, mix of credit, types of credit, that's still part of it, but those 2 things, paying your bills on time and can you lower that credit card debt, those are 2 things that can help you with rebuilding your credit or maximizing your score before a mortgage, you know? So,
I'm I try to help people understand those factors when
yeah,
we're dropping
absolutely.
it up.
Now, Janine, during your day, what's your favorite thing? Like during your work day, what's the favorite thing that you do throughout your day with helping people become homeowners?
You know, I find that there's always an obstacle every single loan, every single day, and I say to myself, I learn something new every day for the last 20 something years. It never ceases to amaze me. And so every day is a new challenge, right? But my favorite part is overcoming that challenge. It's doing a little more work, using a little more critical thinking, uh, using some resources, calling friends in the industry and running it by them, and coming up with solutions. Sometimes it even takes sleeping on it. I come up with it while I'm sleeping, the solution is strain. And then to go ahead and get past the finish line on something really difficult, there's no greater fulfillment in my industry for me than that, is to help someone who might otherwise not have been able to get approved or cross the finish line.
Yep, I believe that, and that's why they say sleep on it sometimes, right? They
An epiphany.
It's true, I believe it, I believe it. Now, it's the beginning of the new year. I'm a book lover. I don't know if you are. Are there any books that you love when it comes to, well, just books in general? Do you have a favorite?
I do love to read. You know, I don't have a lot of extra time, so I find myself listening to podcasts lately.
Love it.
I do for books I love, fictional, non-fictional, cr spiritual books, stuff like that, but for podcasts, which I find, while I'm in the bathroom or while I'm driving, I'll put on Peter Schiff, who is an economist.
Mhm.
He really digs in deep into the markets and gives very difficult and challenging information about the economy. So I listen to him when I want to get, like that angry start to my day. And
Yep.
and then I love politics, so I'll listen to David Rubin. He is a self-proclaimed libertarian and he's hysterical, but he's just smart and on point. And then for fun, I'm a crime junkie. So I listen to Kendall Ray, true crime.
Ah, okay. Okay. And I love, and I'm dating myself, but I have always loved on TV Law and Order,
Oh,
hands down. I mean, just I can hear the intro of the music and I'm hooked and that's it. I'm there for the segment and it is what it is. I can't help myself. So I do like those solving things, and just when you want to unwind and say,
yeah, take your
yeah.
mind off, completely off everything. My
Yep.
son will walk in when I want to really veg out. I watch ID channel, which is all
Yep.
like murder investigations. And said, "Mommy, not ID again." And he's 5. It's so funny. Because
Aw.
mommy, no more murder.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Right?
so funny.
It is. Oh, the poor little guy.
I
But
know.
listen, I know because
I know
Cassandra,
I could solve any crime. I'm telling you.
right? I know. It makes it fun. Okay, so let me just ask you for the first time home buyers. Again, when should, or maybe I didn't ask you this, but when should they come to see you? Like, is there a magic time that you're thinking? Like, when is it important to start thinking about for doing the pre approval?
If there's any thought at all, or you're completely unsure about your credit score or what your credit looks like, you've never really had credit pulled for any reason other than a credit card, it's important to give yourself at least 6 months to prepare. You just don't know what you're gonna find. And best case scenario, you get pre-approved on the spot and everything's great. But, unfortunately, I deal with a lot of people who are up against, right now in this market, sellers are trying to sell their rental properties to get the most money for them. So they're being kicked out of their home and there's just not enough time. And the last thing they want to do is pack up, go to another rent and pack up again and then buy a house. So,
Right.
and
No,
then
there
there's kids in school and the rest of it. So,
totally. I can remember, listen, I've been there with challenging times, and I remember for me, I mean, I definitely wanted to purchase, but I couldn't even rent, like I said. But then when I could rent, which I was even proud of that moment, but I still wanted my exit strategy. But when I rented and my daughter said she wanted to paint her room and I couldn't, we had a place where we weren't allowed to do that. And that was where I said, okay, enough is enough. Where's my plan? And that is when I began the process of saying, okay, what can I afford today? Okay, if I do this, this, and this, maybe I can afford more. And that's when I started working on it. And, believe it or not, it wasn't that long. It might have only, I mean, it might have been a year because I just signed the lease for the apartment. But like, as soon as I did, I already had my exit strategy and I was starting to work on things. And so to me, if you want to purchase a home, there are so many ways, so many programs, so many mortgages, and you can't you can't purchase a home if you just keep thinking about it and not put any
exactly.
action into it, and put any planning. So time goes by fast, but put together a plan.
Another, just along the lines of what you're saying, people who have pets, I mean, they're in a predicament and very
Right.
hard to find a rent with pets. So, you can't paint the walls and you also can't have pets. So,
Right, exactly. I can't even imagine my little puppity pups. So, I always have them if you follow me on social media. My dogs are like a big part of my life, and I just can't
what
even
would you
imagine.
do? Right.
Right, exactly. I don't wanna think about it.
Uh,
So, thank you so much, and if anyone has to find you, I have your link up there, but what about on social media? What are your links?
sure. So I have a website, Mortgages by Janine, Jeneen. You can find me by Googling Cross Country Fairfield branch.
Okay.
Uh, I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Awesome. It was so great having you, Janine.
Thank you
Take it
so very
easy.
much.